meet you at that dock over there at Riverview Park, and then instead of paddling downstream down towards the lock and dam, which if you have a current you don't want to go that way, so we go upstream, and normally our trips on Friday nights will go up underneath the Singing Bridge, so you'll go past all the boat docks up there behind the library, and then underneath Singing Bridge. It's kind of a neat experience to see a car go over you on the Singing Bridge. Definitely find out where it gets its name from. And then we come back down, we'll drop you off at Riverview Park, and being on Friday nights, especially the nights that the concert series are in, it's a great way to just walk over and catch the concert right afterwards. It's kind of a neat way to tie your entire Friday night in together.
And dinner downtown.
And dinner downtown would be great. Yeah, definitely bring the whole family out. You know, we don't have any age requirements on doing these trips. We can, you know, I've got 2 kids of my own, and my 6-month-old, he paddles all the time with us as well as my 2.5-year-old. So I don't mind taking young children.
Now, does he paddle, or he's just in the
paddle? He just kind of rides and drools. My other son, my 2.5-year-old, he's kind of got the idea of paddling down a little bit. So they're getting there. But yeah, it's a great way to just enjoy a Friday night down on the river. Friday nights don't have a lot of boat traffic on them, so it really is nice and quiet, and a great way to see a different side of the city that we have.
Well, it was very calm the day you and I were out there doing this taping. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it had a little bit of wind that day, but it wasn't too bad. You know, once you get back up onto Benson Creek, the wind kind of dissipates and goes away. And
as I recall, it was hot enough that day. We were happy for a breeze.
It was. That was a warm day. That was up in the 90s somewhere. That was before we got this much-needed rain that we got last week. This was 1 or 2 days before that rain, and that was very much a needed rain. It brought the temperature back down, too.
If people would like to take this trip, they could come by our office and get tickets. They could call 227-4492, and the cost is actually $15 for adults and $10 for youth, and children under 2 are free. And they're going to launch at Riverview Park, correct?
That's right.
So it's a nice place to leave their cars and an easy walk from downtown. And for all of our friends out there here in the city and the county, I hope that you will take advantage of this, because we really, with the development plans that we have along the river, we really want the community engaged with this. We would love for you to come out and really see what a wonderful untapped asset we have here. This is sad for people not to use this.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it is. So many people don't realize what this is like down there. And you know, to launch at 6 o'clock and get an hour-and-a-half tour or so, or something like that on the water, and the guides that we send down with it are pretty good about telling you a little bit about the history of waterways in Kentucky, as well as the history of the Kentucky River itself right through here. Great way to kind of bone up on your knowledge a little bit of the river, as well as getting a nice trip. And you know, as long as we get 1 or 2 people on these trips, we'll bring the boats out and do them. So if you got a family of 2 or 3 people, or if you got a family of 15 or 20 people, you know, bring them all out. We can accommodate as many people as you can handle us. These boats, we've packed as many as 45 people to 50 people in 2 of these boats. So we can handle just about a group of any size. So if you got family in town and you're looking for a way to spend a Friday night,
Friday night, wouldn't it?
Yep, you can come spend Friday night on the river with us and start a weekend out really well.
Yeah, this is really. I know that when you all at Canoe Kentucky agreed to do this for us at Tourism, I fully realize that this is not a moneymaker for you. I'm grateful that you're doing a community service, because with the development that we want to do along the river, it's really important for people to get out and see it. And look at this! Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Right. Just so pretty and peaceful. I know even that day that you and I were out for this ride, even in the middle of the day, it was just totally peaceful out there.
Yeah, nice and flat, and just had some great views that day. You could actually have headed up Benson Creek a little more. We stopped at the Benson Creek boat ramp here to finish our trip, but you continue up Benson Creek as well a little bit, and you get some really nice views.
You located that. You said that was the pawn shop there.
That's the back of the Three Bridges Pawn right there. Most people don't realize that's there. It's kind of a neat little octagon tower they stuck on the back of that place.
I know, it's so pretty on the back of that
I'm not exactly sure of how old that is or what the historic relevance is, but I'm sure there's some history people out there that would know a little more about that.
Yeah. We also hope that people would look at the possibilities of pathways along, because besides the development right on the river, we're definitely wanting to do walkways all along absolutely as much of the space as we possibly can. And another thing that your father-in-law, Ed Council, is working with an outdoor committee is to put historic markers along the Kentucky River. As a matter of fact, we're doing this in conjunction with the State Parks Department and Commissioner Jerry Miller, and we actually hope that we're going to have a half a dozen of these markers going up yet this summer. So, and eventually we're hoping to have maybe 40 or 50 of these and a whole brochure so that people will see the markers, but they could pick up a brochure which would give them really the historical significance. There are so many spots along the river.
Yeah, basically building blueways. A lot of cities have embraced that concept. You've got greenways, all your trails and things, and these paddle trips are using the river to get to these historic markers as well as a neat way to embrace, quote, blueways, which is another neat way to enjoy natural trail systems that are there by using the waterway there. And
Nicholasville and Mercer County and right now it escapes me what the third county is, already have a system for the signs and a brochure. So what we're trying to do is coordinate this, and hopefully through the parks system we will have these historic markers from one end to the other for the river.
Yeah, very cool project.
I know your father-in-law's worked really hard on this, and
yeah, he's got definitely a passion for the Kentucky River. I got to admit, he's historically more knowledgeable of this river than I ever will be, and it's such a neat river. Just, you know, speaking of everything on it, from the use of the locks and dams when they were all in operation still, and a neat river, you know, coming out of 3 different forks, originating down there in eastern Kentucky and winding their way right through the state. The only major riverway that cuts right through the heart of the state like that, and a lot of neat history and historic relevance to the river, and what a great spot we have right here in Frankfort to enjoy it.
Here we are coming back to dock up, and we hope what we've done today is just, no pun intended, but whet your appetite and want you to get out on the Kentucky River. And there we see the flag flying. And,
yeah, it's a great way to enjoy the Kentucky River again without the hum of a motorboat. Great way to just really be able to enjoy nature as well as the waterway itself. And it's not a hard-working trip. You know, you see us doing a lot of paddling there. With 2 or 3 people, it takes a little bit of work to move the boats, but you get 4 or 5 people in the boats, and these boats will move effortlessly. And the guides that we use along on these trips, one of them being Chris, who went with us that day, you keep seeing in the back of the boat, are pretty good about managing these boats by themselves. So.
Well, I wasn't even sore the next day.
We try to keep most of the work out of it, at least. Yeah, this is actually our finishing up point right here. It looks like we're getting ready to pull out a dock right here, so we're about at the end.
Did you enjoy that? I'm sure you did. I know that Nathan and I enjoyed the little canoe trip that we took along the Kentucky River, and we were very happy to have you join us today on that trip. Now, if you would like to go, you can certainly call our office at the Frankfort Tourist Commission, and that's 875-8687. Or you can call Canoe Kentucky, and that number is 227-4492. They will be taking canoe rides out every Friday evening at 6 p.m. And it's an hour trip, and that I'm sure it is a trip that you would really enjoy. We would love for you to get out and see the Kentucky River and see what we're talking about when you read in the newspaper or you hear on Cable 10 or Clear Channel the development that is about to come to Frankfort. Thank you for joining us today.